Hey guys, it is Sonia. It is Sunday. It's a gorgeous day. It's a gorgeous day. It's overcast. I didn't even turn the lights on when I came over into this room. Oh, there goes the heat. I knew it would kick off in just a minute. I'm rearranging things over here today. And Matt, of course, is watching the storefront in the other section of the building. I'm moving some things around over here. I'm setting myself up with a new little studio with everything at my fingertips, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, I'm gonna move some stuff, decorate. I've been decorating, like, I think back to when I was in high school and my mother would wake up in the middle of the night probably thinking that somebody was breaking in the house when really it was just me, just edging my bed, right? I didn't have a big room, but man, you change up some things, it changes the flow, the feeling. So we're changing around some things today. It's Sunday and I'm excited for the week ahead. I'm feeling really good today. I woke up feeling really good. As you know, I've been absent on here for a little bit, just getting back into things because I was down with illness for a little bit and I'm finally starting to feel like my usual self. And I love that. I love that for me. So it's Sunday morning. We've already seen a ton of people here at the store. We opened 11 a.m. and people are coming in. You know, it's a pretty like magical, beautiful thing that happens. And I don't know how, because when you think about if you're in retail, there's no reservations, right? Nobody's booking a night to stay. There's no expected occupancy. You know, you just every day take a leap of faith. You invest in yourself and all the goods, and you just hope that you've curated a beautiful experience that people will enjoy and then come back again to enjoy, maybe bring their family, their friends, whatever. So I'm just very thankful this morning, feeling very thankful to wake up to a full store, and yeah, we are off to the races. So that's really good. People are here. Yay, they like us. They really like us. So anyhow, I was filming yesterday in here as well. And this morning coming back into this space here, I'm seeing one of the mugs that I completed yesterday. So if you head over to my Sonia Miller channel here on YouTube, you'll see that creative process take place, and I talked to you a little bit about what I'm doing with these. But today I thought that I would pop on here and kind of share some thoughts on Whatnot. And I told you I would do that, and so I wanted to honor that and make sure I showed up, and also why it was like fresh in my mind. So will I be back on Whatnot again? Because I've done 2 shows at this point. Were you on one of my shows? And I learned a lot, and I'm going to do another show. So that should tell you that, yes, I like Whatnot, but I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. Maybe do 1 show a month. So Whatnot. Let's see here. Where shall I start? Well, I knew that a lot of resellers and antiquers, pickers, thrifters were just over on Whatnot as a great way to do live shows. I don't mind doing live shows. If you've known me forever and a day, you know that with Junk Monkey Paint, we were always painting all the hours of the day and of the night and just showing up and doing what we love to do and, you know, being real. At the end of the day, I think it's okay not to be afraid to go live, because you never know the potential that you have and how much people will love you and love your personality. So if you don't like how you look or your voice or anything that, who cares? Just show up and be you. You're amazing just as you are. You're one of a kind, and you just never know what you have until you show up. But just show up, right? Just show up as you are. So that alone is like the biggest part, just showing up, it's pressing live. Because it was scary to go live the first time, because I'm like, oh my gosh. But I will overcome. Everybody else does it. They didn't die. I can do it. We're not, it's going to be great. It's going to be fine. But yeah, I heard a lot of people over there on Whatnot, and I actually created an account like a year in the past. I never started on it. I ended up going with Etsy, and fast forward now, I tried Whatnot, and some of you guys have told me and wrote in and said that, some people have moved on from Whatnot at this point of the game. Will Whatnot be around forever? I don't know. But am I on Whatnot pretty much every single day? Yeah, maybe I might be. Yeah, I might buy jewelry there. Some cool clothes that I love, thrifted clothes, re-love finds. Okay, but from the thrifter pointer part, when I first started, the words that were used to me was, oh yeah, Whatnot is a great way to offload a lot of stuff in a quick period of time. It is, because you're going through a lot of things, right? Every so many, maybe every minute, every so many minutes. But that is not ideal for me. That's the biggest part. So I'm going to start with maybe the whammy that's on my brain first. And that is, I don't need to move a lot of things because I don't buy and then need to find an outlet. I have a store that's open 7 days a week, and I'm curating an experience for customers. And so I just don't want to move stuff and have nothing and sell it for dirt cheap. I want to actually have a store curated. I want all my teacups to look really cool and kind of like keep adding and filling the voids. And I enjoy that. Like I enjoy picking, a bunch that's easy to work with. And then cleaning them and getting them for resale and always adding in these things. So for me, I don't want to wipe out my inventory in a really quick way. I would rather pick things and just put them up for sale. And when the right buyer comes in, they grab it, right? But every day there's something from my stash going. So I don't really need that. But if you're somebody out there that has a lot of stuff, maybe you inherited a lot of stuff, maybe you have boxes from, somebody in your family that you just took on, you inherited for some reason. Or maybe you're just, I don't know, you're minimalizing and you're cleaning out a lot of stuff in your house and you just want to get rid of stuff. You're decluttering your jewelry, you're cleaning out your closets. Oh my gosh, if you want to get rid of stuff and move a lot of stuff, that is the place to go. Because you also have to be okay with it going though for maybe, just to get it out. You're just happy to have somebody buy it who loves it, reloves it, and you get a little bit of something back. And then you can put that back into something else that you want in your life. You know what I mean? So, and capture a little bit of your money back that you put out to actually get the piece. Or if you have a lot of stuff and you just want to get rid of it and you just want somebody who loves it, and you just love it to go to somebody versus throwing it in a dumpster. Oh my goodness. Yes, you can go through a lot. I do find with that note that a lot of things that for me that sold on Whatnot, actually I can pretty much say all the things that I've sold on Whatnot went for less than what I would sell in my store. And I tried, I like with 2 different shows, I tried a couple things because the first time I went, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So if I paid $3 for this mug and I put it up for $3 as my starting bid, will it continue to go up from there? In a lot of cases, for me at least, it did not. It stayed right around that mark. There was times that I put things up on my first show that I put up exactly what I paid for. But then you also have to remember that, is it worth it? Because Whatnot takes their percentage, which I think ends up being like basically 10 point something percent of your what your sale was. Basically how it breaks down. It's roughly 10 and a little bit percentage, which is not bad at all. But if you're putting things up for what you paid for, there's obviously a minus coming from that. There's your time. My shows were always roughly, my first show was 2 hours and a bit. So Whatnot has some beautiful incentives, and I was like, oh wow, okay, this is really good to help you out. So they do a thing where they match up to $150 in your first show of sales that you do, as long as you stay on for 2 hours, and if you reach 150 or beyond, right, minus their fees, they match it. Now that I've done my show, that first show, maybe 6 weeks ago, and I never received that. And so I messaged them, which they do have amazing customer service. I will tell you that. And all the sellers on the app are super, super nice people. Like, it's like my favorite app for people who are they just seem like good people. The other sellers that I've met, I'm like, wow, this is really nice. Everybody supports each other. I love that. That's like huge, huge win. But it does take a long time to get paid out. So for that particular referral program, I still have been paid out. So I reached out, they got back to me really quickly, which was really nice. So they do have great customer service, but the thing is, they have long periods of time before you get paid out. So if you're looking to make a profit really quickly, it's not like immediate. You're not meeting somebody on Marketplace and you're getting the money in your hand right away. So I forget how long it took. Like, it's something like, I'm just going off of memory here, but it is something like, 45 days past, or 60 days or something like that past the date of when the all the parcels are delivered, and then the period of any claims have passed. And anyway, it ends up being a very, very long time. So I haven't received that yet, but You know what? Whatnot has been good in terms of like their documenting, their dashboard. If you go in and you click around, everything is pretty, explains itself pretty nice. So sitting in my hopper right now in Whatnot, I have just a couple of dollars short of $1,000. And at any point I can go ahead and I can transfer that over. I was kind of like waiting, do you ever do this where like you have a certain amount in your mind and you're like, I just wanted to get to that amount and I just want to cash out a full like $1,000 boom check to myself or something like that. Now my friend did get involved with me, so some of that I've already sent over to her from my PayPal because Whatnot will give you a breakdown. So if you do shows with other people on your platform, which is really nice because my friend Carly helped me and I didn't want anything from any of her sales. I was just happy that she helped me sell my stuff and she got to sell her stuff on my platform. So it was a marriage made in heaven. She actually had stuff that she's been trying to sell for a long time. Some of the glowy glass that she had a marketplace and it didn't sell. And so Whatnot, everything sold. And she was just happy to get it out of her house. And she kind of like changed how she collects and what she collects. And she just wanted to move some of that stuff. That's a great place, right? They all found beautiful homes. So you can team up and you can do stuff with people because the data inside it literally would tell you like what sold, the amount of fees that Whatnot took out, and then the amount that is basically your profit. So it's really easy to work with somebody if you team up with somebody. That might be a great idea for you, right? You help them and they help you, and it's just great because you guys are just having fun together. So I did love that. With the pay, it does take a little bit of time to get paid out. So that's the part I really didn't like. Come on, you sell your stuff, you've shipped off your stuff, which shipping is a whole other thing. I'll talk about that in a second, but you ship off your stuff and it's out of your hands. So I did 2 shows, 2 Fridays in a row. So I had shipped out all my stuff and it was gone from me, right? Somebody bid, Whatnot kept the money, and then when I went into my second show, I would not even receive the money from my first show. So it's a little scary in trusting that process because you're letting a lot of stuff go out the door. That's your stuff, but you have not received any money for. So, but it did come in, absolutely. Whatnot, I believe, is a very credible app, and I haven't had any issues with it that way. They just have their set systems, so if you're okay with that. Now, what I have learned, so what happens is, like, you don't get paid until you ship it, it goes out, it reaches that person, and then it'll say delivered in your Whatnot app, and then you have to wait for it to process and then put the money over to you. So, for example, I shipped stuff to Alaska, and that was like the last little bits of payout that I had to wait for because there's a distance for it to get there, and then you had to wait for it to process. So I would say you're gonna at least wait a week after. They say it's like a couple days within a parcel being delivered. Maybe that's the best way to say it. So for me, it ended up roughly a little bit more than like right on to a little bit more than a week. I think it was right after my second show that everything arrived in my account. So there is that. Now, I did learn that once you reach 1,000 sales, then Whatnot will go ahead and they'll waive that and you get paid immediately. I think right now I sold almost 100. Did I sell 100 things? No, I think a little bit less than 100 things. So I've sold a little bit less than 100 items. So I could see how of 2 shows, because I did on average roughly 50 pieces. Not everything will sell. Maybe you're lucky and everything will sell for you. The majority, I would say like 95% of what I put up both shows sold. I took the time to take a picture and create a library of what was coming, and then basically you just move through all your auctions. The beautiful thing about Whatnot as well is that, and I was shocked at this, when I signed up for a seller account, which I'm told in the beginning it was really hard to get a seller account, even up to a year ago, but I didn't have any problem getting a seller account. I was like authorized, pending authorization immediately. I just had to go to an orientation. But so maybe because they have so many people on the platform now, they're just, you know what I mean? And they're competing with other platforms that are doing live selling and I understand like a couple of the other big secondhand online platforms, marketplaces are also doing that sort of live sale platform built in as well now. So you know what, they're going to have competition. So they can't be too selective because they need to get people immersed in their platform. So maybe Whatnot is over the big hump of like how special it was when it started. But anyway, that's what I think now. Maybe that's why a few people have kind of moved on. They had their fun, they had their money, and they moved on. For me, yeah, I just feel like things sell for less. Things sell for less. Have I found some great things for less? Oh my gosh. I found some beautiful necklaces where, you go into an auction and there might be four people, and not four people don't want the same necklace that you want, and it goes up for bid. And so you can get some really amazing deals on Whatnot. But as a seller who has a brick and mortar and pays a lot of money to be here, I would rather get as much as I can from those objects, and I need something to fill my store. So with that in mind, I think I would do Whatnot for me maybe once a month and do a curated show. I would also include like my artwork and things like that, because a lot of the people on my show is people that followed me anyway. You know what I mean? Like they followed me over there and kind of knew who I am and what I do. So they really loved my artwork and things like that versus just the physical things, like the home decor that I could have thrifted. I guess the more special things. And so that kind of opened my eyes on my second show when I included artwork, because I did my first one and it just took so much work for me anyhow, first time learning, and I put up like 60 or 65 items, learning how to do that. I didn't get a chance to put in any of my candles or my artwork. Then the second show, and people were asking. So the second show, I'm like, okay, let me bring in a little bit more of me, and everything sold. And so I'm just so thankful. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe my next show, I will do another one, and I'll figure out a time and put it up, but I'll put some of my new artwork up, my original artwork, maybe some of my painted mugs, my candles, things like that, and then my cute home decor, and sprinkle it in amongst it. So I think that's probably for me the best way that I would love to run a Whatnot show. Shipping though, let me tell you. So remember I told you about that mug that I paid $2.99 for? I put it up, it went for $2.99 or $3, maybe earned a penny on it. Whatnot then took 10-ish% off that to go back. It takes a couple hours, at least that's what I did, to host my shows. And then I kid you not, when you have that many items and you're dealing with glass, so especially the first show, I did a lot of glass. It was pretty much a lot of breakables. And I have a history of packing paint, which when I look back now, because when I ship small things like jewelry or a shirt, I'm like, man, I was in the wrong business. Holy smokes, packing paint for across the country and beyond, you learn a lot of things and you cry a lot of days, but it's so much easier. And, even shipping paint when things are roughly average, our paint was pretty chunky monkey. So 2 pounds for every single paint can add up, right? The shipping went crazy. I remember when we used to do free shipping on our Junk Monkey paints, you can see some right here behind me, the prices just kept going up and up and up, and to the point where, I was sending out boxes of paint to people that might cost me $36 and I shipped it for free. And boy, that was big numbers. It's just, you get into bigger numbers. It could even be more than that, right? Holy smokes, $65 to ship out something. So it definitely plays in your favor if you do sell things that are lighter, then you don't get caught up in that shipping game of just, you want to cry when you see the price of postage and you go, am I really making anything off of this? I had a big order, but holy smokes. Whatnot's really cool with their shipping as well, because they have a couple ways that you can set it up, but you can like bundle it and stuff, so I think Whatnot, yeah, I know that they say that Whatnot has negotiated better rates with the USPS. So yeah, I ended up, my first show, I found out that after I checked out, everything is set to a 12 by 12 by 12 box. And I have boxes of all different sizes. They give you like 5 allowances. I think it's a week, although mine never changed. Mine still told me, like if I log in now, that I'm pretty sure the guy in orientation, and yes, there was a live orientation, let me tell you about that. But I'm pretty sure that the guy, when I asked him this question, he said you get 5 a week. And I thought, okay, so my first show, we had people who bought big dishes that was bigger than a 12 by 12 box, because there was multiple glass, like beautiful fancy glass glowy dishes in them, and we had to do bigger. I remember I did a shipping adjustment, and it did the adjustment to $65 like difference. And it said, Whatnot will cover this for you. And I'm like, holy crap, like how is Whatnot making money on this? Because holy smokes, they just pay $65. And I thought, and there was a lot of those for me, and that had to be changed labels. And since then, so they accepted it. They kept it at the lower price of the shipping that the customer paid, that they saw. But since then, my label reimbursement allowance has never come back. So maybe I broke it. But that's what happens when you ship big things and multiple things and you need bigger boxes, right? So they're like, no, 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 we don't get a great rate on that. No, you ain't getting that. So anyway, there is that to explore. Shipping every single show took me, the first show took me 3 hours. The second show took me 3 and a bit because I did it myself. It's just a lot. I had to go, and of course I had to beef up on all my bubble wrap, and I get my supplies from Uline, and you pay a lot for shipping just to get, just to get that. But I ordered a couple $100 in boxes, and I ended up buying boxes on my second show to match what their system is, which is a 12 by 12 by 12 set box. And I thought, well, if I get 12 by 12 by 12 set boxes, then I don't have to change labels, and I won't mess with that, and I won't mess anything up. So, and I went through some forums, and they told me that if you end up, like say for example, I don't need a 12 by 12 by 12 box. I literally left the label as it was, downsized to a smaller box to hold it nice and tight, and I never had any issues. And online I read that if you downsize from a 12 by 12 by 12, don't change your label, just pack as you normally would, leave that label as is, because it is smaller than the anticipated 12 by 12 by 12 box, therefore you're not changing your label. And that's what I did my second show, and that was a learning curve. But yeah, so yeah, that's what I did. I have 12 by 12 by 12 boxes and below. But I also, my second show went, we're not doing any big dishes. We're not going to do that. Number one, I don't want anything to break. I had one thing break my first show, made me cry. Not really. I sucked it up, but inside I was crying deeply, because it's like, you do all you can, but it really is in the hands of, the postal system. I had a Whatnot delivery yesterday come to me, and I kid you not, it was just a bunch of really nice necklaces that I bought, and it came in yesterday in a box that was wrapped by UPS that says, "Because we care." And everybody's like, that was around my desk when it came in, was like, "What is that?" I'm like, I have no idea. I think this might be jewelry, but what would be wet inside? Did they put in a freebie? There was no freebie inside of it, but obviously it must have came in contact maybe with something else that broke. So I opened it up, checked everything. Inside everything was bubble wrapped, and I just threw out the box and washed my hands really good. So, it was all good. But that came in yesterday. But just know that you will pay a lot. So for a roll of bubble wrap, like you're paying on average $20, right? $20 with tax, not including your time to get it. Go there. You do eat up a lot of product because you're rolling that up. So remember, this piece that I bought for $2.99, Whatnot takes 10% off of. I only made $3 off of it. Then I've got to wrap it. I've got to buy the box. Boxes on average cost between 60 cents to $1.25. At least that's what I'm seeing, depending on your size. So you just have to think to yourself, is it worth it in the end, right? Could it be volume? Yes. If you have a lot of stuff to let go of, to get rid of, to move a lot of stuff, it's your way to go, because I guarantee you there is a sock for every foot, and somebody will find exactly what they love and they'll show up. And I think to myself, if I just started doing lives from my store with what I have in my store, would people randomly show up? I think they would, because I randomly show up on people's things. So I can't imagine, why that wouldn't happen to me if I did that during the week or tried that. But I might do like a special show once a month, and then maybe I'll do more of like the littles in our store, right? Like the jewelry, the crystals, just the smaller things that are so easy to just like start a box for somebody and throw them all in, seal them up, put your label on, and let it go, right? That's the way to go. Big stuff, not so much. And I'm pretty sure that when Whatnot started, it was for those little, what are they called? The magic beans, fueled by the magic beans. Is it called Funko Pops or something like that? They're basically these little statues. So everything is based on small objects being sold to people on Whatnot. Anyhow, that's pretty much like a brain dump of right now what I'm thinking, I had one, what I would call a negative review or just a lower review, and it was the silliest thing because I called something glowy glass, which is what I do, because, is it manganese? Is it a lower percentage of uranium? Is it cadmium? Is it selenium? Like what, there could be so many different things that make glass glow. So I have always called that, even in my thrifting videos, my glowy glass. And somebody bought something and they said this was not uranium glass. Well, I never called it uranium glass, and I demonstrated off and on and all that sort of stuff. Shipped it out, threw in some freebies like I always do with anybody. I just didn't recognize the name, but everybody has different names made up on on Whatnot anyhow. And I got a review back, and I think it said it gave me like it said it was upset, the person was upset that it wasn't uranium. I'm thinking, well, I can't control that. Like, I don't know what's truly into it. It's just glowy glass for me. So there are things that you can't control, which can be frustrating as well. But anytime there is that there is a review system in place, that people could leave you reviews, right? And that's frustrating, but there's nothing that you can change. Do I wish there was a place where we could review customers? I absolutely do. And tell me too if you are if you're a shop owner, because not every customer is a great customer, right? So it's kind of like one way. But they gave me a 3.0, and it like hurt my heart, because I'm thinking I ship so much stuff, but they a 3.0. I don't think there was any explanation on it. I'm thinking, dude, like, I got your box. I have an average of 1 day shipping. I do a show on a Friday night. I pack over the weekend, and it goes out Monday when the mailman comes, which is the first business day. And you're supposed to send things out within, I think it's like 2 days for Whatnot. Although I have been seeing on the on message boards that people are saying that Whatnot needs to crack down, because people are not honoring that 2-day system. And I know I have bought stuff, and I've like here in the U.S. close by in the tri-state area, and it has not arrived for like a week and a half later. And I'm like, as a Whatnot seller, I think you're like, that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to get it out pretty promptly to people, but that doesn't always happen. So anyway, spirits in my heart, 3 for shipping. And I'm like, I bubble wrapped everything. Everything got to you great. It went out the very first business day, but it goes to show that, you know what, you are just not everybody's cup of tea. And, whatever reason, you can't control what reviews you might get. So anyhow, if you've purchased something from me and you loved what you got, go help me get from a 4.9 back up to my shiny 5.0, because those things will happen, right? And that's just part of doing business. There's a cost to doing business, and sometimes there's things like that happen in business that are completely out of your control. You just have to have a thick skin. I joke about it, but I share that with you as just part of my experience, because that's the truth of what happened. But do I it is what it is. Do I care? Of course I care a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't, because that's just part of the process. So it is what it is. And anybody that knows me and buys from me and kind of have followed me knows that obviously I'm going to be a credible seller, get your stuff out, get it out in my very best possible way, and get it to you really promptly and just really nice. Throw in a few freebies. All right. Any questions? Did I cover everything? General, So yeah, I just need to book my next. Leave me some questions below if you have anything that you want me to expand on, because this is just kind of like a general overview. But is it a fun way to sell? It certainly is. And it's, when you do a live sale, you just get to play off and enjoy the other people that show up. And that's so cool to see people's names pop up again and, have conversations and have a good laugh. So I do like that, because you get to show your personality and you get to meet your customers, a little more closely, because it's live and they're interacting with you that way. So anyhow, but yeah, I think Whatnot is a great platform. Just think about what you're shipping and how fast you need the money, and yeah, go from there. All right, that's what I got. All right, friends, I'm gonna get back to the shop, but I will see you again. I'm trying to post day to day again, so go over to my Sonia Miller channel and get caught up on my video from yesterday, and then we'll just go back and forth. All right, see you guys, bye.